What is going on, guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you today with a brand new video on the Big Fight Field channel. It's a news and rumors video on your Sunday evening, October 27th, 2019. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Sunday. If it's watching some NFL football or playing some WWE 2K20 or whatever you're doing, I hope everybody's having a fantastic Sunday, and I, for one, am looking forward to the World Series tonight with the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals. Game 5 of the World Series. Washington took 2 games in Houston, and then Houston had all the pressure on them, and then they went into Washington and they won 2 in a row. So that is huge for them. And tonight is the last game of the World Series in Washington between the Astros and Nationals. And I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen, and I'm very excited. So we'll see what happens tonight with the Astros and Nationals. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this week's biggest news and rumors around the entire world of professional wrestling. So without further ado, let's get to the news and rumors this week. So we're going to start it off with very sad and unfortunate news with this past weekend at a house show in Australia. It was a tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between the New Day and the Revival. And very early in the match, I want to say it was 2 minutes into the match, Xavier Woods hurt his knee, and the officials and the medical staff, they held up the X, and they immediately called off the match. So the match with the New Day and the Revival got canceled because Xavier Woods was severely hurt and could not compete anymore in the match. Later on in the week, I believe it was Tuesday, Woods had a MRI on his knee, and it appeared to be a torn Achilles, and the really sad news is he's going to be out for 1 year. Um, I believe Mr. Creed is going through a very tough time right now with his knee injury, and right now I can wish for nothing else but the best, and my prayers go out to Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, to recover healthy, get back into rehab, and come back to that ring better than ever, because in my opinion, he's one of the most underrated professional wrestlers on the main roster today before he got hurt. So, nothing but the best to Xavier Woods. I think he's awesome, and I hope that you have a really speedy recovery, a great rehab, and I can't wait to see Xavier Woods get back into that ring sooner rather than later, hopefully. But that's the Xavier Woods rumor. He's got a torn Achilles and he's out for 1 year, unfortunately. But turning a negative into a positive, last night at a NXT house show, I'm not sure where the location was, but last night they closed the show with the women, and the entire women's locker room was out there. I think I saw a picture on social media. It was Shayna Baszler, Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, Dakota Kai, Tegan Knox. They were all out there, and they were all not in character. They were just themselves. Kind of like when when WWE announced Evolution, no character. They were just happy and all that stuff. Shayna Baszler had a microphone and announced that there's going to be a all women's NXT show coming in the near future, and I think the announced date was Wednesday night, December 4th. So, I'm extremely happy for that announcement. No question, NXT has the best women's division in the world with Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, Bianca Belair, Mia Yim, Rhea Ripley. That women's division is absolutely stacked, and I'm really happy for those women working their butts off every day in the Performance Center for this moment to happen. A all women's NXT show, I can't wait. That is going to be one great show, in my opinion. Um, so, would I have announced this at a house show? I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I mean, it got to social media. It broke last night, and I'm really happy for for the women down at NXT. I think they deserve it, and I can't wait for them to kill it on December 4th when they have the all women's NXT show. That is going to be phenomenal. Um, this is what I like to call the main event topic. The topic we're going to spend the most on this evening. It involves the clown of professional wrestling, Seth Rollins. I like to call him the biggest scum of professional wrestling, but other people like to call him the biggest clown of professional wrestling. It involves Seth Rollins and the legendary commentator of AEW, Jim Ross. So earlier this week on Grilling JR, Mr. Ross had a few words to say about Seth Rollins. And I quote, Rollins is in a great spot. He's blessed, and maybe someday he'll be as over as his girlfriend, Becky Lynch. Wow. I don't know, but I've always liked his work. He's a solid guy, but saying things like that make him look bad, and for that I feel bad for him. What he's prefacing to is Seth Rollins calling AEW the minor leagues, and I'll get to more on that in just a second. I just believe sometimes it's internal. Sometimes what they're driven to say, what they feel obligated to say, they say things that they think will gain the favor of their bosses. I don't know. That's the quote Jim Ross said about Seth Rollins on Grilling JR. Um, my first initial reaction when I read this entire quote was I could not agree more with Mr. Ross on this one. Um, he says Rollins is in a great spot because obviously the company, the WWE, is pushing him to be the top guy in the WWE, even though so many people on social media dislike him, including myself. I dislike Seth Rollins. And then Ross says he's blessed, and maybe someday he'll be as over as his girlfriend, Becky Lynch. And I laughed hysterically from that because that's true. Becky Lynch is way, way, way more over than Seth Rollins is. She's having a decent run as the Raw Women's Champion, and she's over with the crowd. She's got a lot of fans. People love Becky Lynch. People go to wrestling shows like Raw and live events just to go see Becky Lynch in person. So yeah, Becky's really over, in my opinion, and she's got a ton of fans. Um, then the next thing Ross says is he's a solid guy, but saying things like that make him look bad, and for that I feel bad for him. Now, what I said earlier, he's preferencing to Rollins saying that AEW is the minor leagues. Jim Ross, why would you feel bad for Seth Rollins when the guy has been a absolute fool on social media and in his promos for the past 4 months? 4 months with his feud with Baron Corbin, which I believe was the worst feud of the entire year of 2019. He's he's backing it up like it's good. He's backing it up like it's good. Sounding like an idiot to Will Ospreay on social media, bringing up his bank account, bringing up the man's bank account. Um, Winning the Universal Championship back at SummerSlam to Brock Lesnar, and then that finish with The Fiend at Hell in a Cell, where he actually defended the finish. He defended the Hell in a Cell finish, and in the process, disrespected the legendary Hell in a Cell match between Mick Foley and The Undertaker in 1999 King of the Ring, saying, I think Mick and Undertaker would have liked the ref to stop the match. If Mick Foley and The Undertaker wished the ref stopped the match, they would have told him beforehand, don't you think, Rollins? They would have told him beforehand. Use your brain. He's got to use his brain, and that's what he doesn't do. He doesn't use his brain. He's dumb. The final thing Ross says is, I just believe sometimes it's internal. Sometimes what they're driven to say, what they feel obligated to say, they say things that they don't think will gain the favor of their bosses. That is true as well. But I think most of the stuff that Rollins is saying, I actually think he's saying it on his own. People on social media can think that, oh, Vince McMahon is telling him to say this. Oh, there's employees telling him to go say this online. I disagree with that. I think he is saying it on his own, and nobody is telling him what to say. And to be honest, Becky Lynch should take over his bank account. Not his bank account, my God. His Twitter account. My bad. Because the man is just awful at Twitter, and once again, he sounded like an idiot. Jim Ross called him out on his podcast, Grilling JR, and I couldn't agree more with what Ross says. But that's the main event topic of the day. And that's going to do it for the first episode of News and Rumors right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, share the video with your wrestling friends. Subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We're gonna get some really great content on this channel. I'm telling you, that's our goal. Is to bring you guys the best content we can here on the Big Fight Field channel. Follow me on Twitter at Joseph Conlon. I'm at 625 followers right now, which is really impressive. I never thought I'd be at 625 followers. And also follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins. You could just look up his name, and I'm sure it'll pop up, and you can follow him as well. But thank you guys for watching this video, and before I go, sorry for no SmackDown video this week. June had some service technical difficulties at his house and couldn't upload the video. No big deal, no worries. It's only the first week, and we'll see you guys for a new fresh week right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Have a good night, guys.